Hey, Church of God, this is Mike Anders. I don't know anybody that has the coronavirus, but I know several people who have been furloughed on their jobs, who have had their hours cut, and who have received 60-day letters. When you go through something like that, speaking firsthand, I know it's very stressful and very emotional, but I want to share with you in Luke, it starts off with a Christmas story, and the angel appears to the shepherds, and the angel says, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy. And for unto us a Savior is born." Jesus Christ is on the throne. The Spirit of God lives within us. We do not need to be afraid. And what I want to encourage you to do is to turn your despair into desperation, because when we get desperate for God, that's when God comes in and heals us. If you look at the sinful woman in the book of Luke, she went to the Pharisee's house who had invited Jesus uninvited, and she was desperate for God. Her life was a mess, but she was so desperate for God. It shows her there at the feet of Jesus. She's washing Jesus' feet with her tears and wiping them off with her hair. And she left that place whole and healed because she was desperate for God. The woman who had the issue of blood was desperate for God. She pushed her way through the crowd. She had this incurable disease, and she was so desperate. She pushed herself through the crowd to touch the hem of his garment, and she was healed. And you look at blind Bartimaeus, who had been blind all of his life and who was crying out, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And he was being hushed by the crowd, but yet it says that he yelled more the louder. And because of that desperation, that touched God. We need to get desperate for God. When you look in the book of Revelation, it says what Jesus has against the church is that one of the things is that they lost their true love. They don't love him as they once did. And the other thing they had against the church was they no longer needed him. They felt like they didn't need a thing. And I'm telling you, we need to be desperate for God, because when you're desperate for God and you're hungry for God, that's when you will be filled. I encourage you, I ask God just to bless you, and I will see you next week.